Went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! ! Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Looking for serious truck savings? Head to Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland and check out these Chevrolet deals happening now. Drive home a 26 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom with up to $6,000 in rebates, now just $45,335. Need more features? Step into a 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with up to $5,750 in rebates, now $52,040. Power, capability, and value, all backed by the Chevrolet name. See the lineup today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, online at hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
This is NWKS Radio News. I'm Connor Schuh. An antitrust class action lawsuit was recently filed against several beef processors, with consumers from many states, including Kansas, eligible for payment. The lawsuit alleges the beef processors involved entered a market allocation agreement to increase the margins and the price consumers paid for beef. The lawsuit went against JBS USA Food Company, Swift Beef Company, JBS Packerland Incorporated, Cargill Inc., Cargill Meat Solutions Corporation, National Beef Packing Company, Tyson Foods, and Tyson Fresh Meats Incorporated. Cargill and Tyson agreed to pay a total of $87.5 million in settlements to resolve the claims. Again, consumers who purchased any of hundreds of beef products for personal consumption between August 1st, 2014 and December 31st, 2019 for those companies are eligible for payment in 27 states, including Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Dense fog has developed overnight along and east of Highway 25, and a dense fog advisory is in place until 11 a.m. this morning. Visibilities of a quarter mile or less are possible. Temperatures are at or just above freezing, and some patchy freezing fog could make bridges slick. This afternoon, sunshine and west winds turning to the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour, with warm highs into the 60s. Tonight, southerly flow increases and fog is possible again in counties east of highways 25 and 83. Lows will be in the mid to upper 30s. Thursday, a trough and low develops out west, increasing south winds 25 to 35 miles per hour, warming temperatures into the 70s. This will elevate fire weather conditions, and a fire weather watch has been issued for Kit Carson and Cheyenne counties in Colorado. Also, strong to severe storms are possible along a dry line in the evening hours along and east of highways 25 and 83. This meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
And Connor Schuh.
Slovakia probably sucks.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than that? No!
Covering it all from the preps.
Cowgirls hunting them, and they're finding them. Stargell with another 3.
To the pros.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the insurance agency, Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakland.
Let's go to work.
Vicious in the forecourt. Left-hand side, Robinson to the rim, block, got it, pushed, Edmonds follows.
Stojakovic on that one right there. Here comes Andre to the other end, coast to coast, and he bangs it up and in.
The use of the 3, misses badly, rebound Council. Here comes KU. Melvin quickly up the floor, blows by his man, right-hand runner, good. He flat out torched Odom, and KU within 3.
Lawrence with the ball, left sideline high. Shoots a pass. The Price shoots the 3. Knocked down, hit that 3. 4-point play chance. Fouled and knocked down by Freeney.
Colorado attacking full court right. Johnson, lob it inside. Dak the catch and a slam. He is a pogo stick. Caught him high, spun and flushed it with 2 hands. He's got 14.
Shoulder dribble into the lane. Little floater off the window. Too strong. Taj the rebound. Nice kick out. Nate Johnson a 3. Yes! Nate Johnson, are you kidding?
Well, if you love basketball, last night was certainly your night. There was plenty of it, whether it was on your television or in your backyard because of high school playoffs. I mean, if you love basketball, yesterday was your day, particularly for our area sports fans, because every single college basketball team was in action. And it was opposite night last night. The bad teams got wins, and the good teams smelled really badly, very badly.
Hey, props to Colorado for being the only team that really handled business against the worst team.
K-State got a win. I mean, anything for K-State.
That is true. That is true.
Anything for K-State is big.
I know. I feel bad. I'm just so used to seeing them lose that I just kind of phased it out in my mind.
Nope, they got it done. I mean, it was not pretty, but they got it done last night.
I did listen to the end of it, so I recall.
K-State got it done. Kansas gets spanked on the road at Arizona State. Nebraska was asleep at the wheel at UCLA. There was no other better way to put it. And I, of course, stayed up late to watch that whole thing because I need to just get the score for the sports report. And that was fun. Like, man, I should just go to bed like the team did 10 minutes ago. Ugh. Anyway,
oh, no.
Frustrating night last night in college basketball for your boy, but that's okay. Good morning, everybody. Wednesday, March the 4th. A nice, cool 37 and overcast here outside the KKCI studios in Goodland. Going to get to a high in the mid-60s today. Temperature is going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow with temps in the mid-70s. But that could possibly, once again, I say possibly, in pretty much capitalizations. Chances of rain Thursday night, Friday, and even into Friday night. There's a 50% chance of rain on Friday. That means a 1 in 2 shot. So, but some good rain possibility coming up here late of the week as we look at it here on the forecast. Today's program, lots to get to. We'll talk some NFL free agency and offseason news with our good friend Nick Athen at ChiefsBlitz.com. Well, the Chiefs have cleared a lot of players to create salary cap space. What will that allow them to do for 2026? We will discuss that coming up a little bit later on in the program with him. I made a prediction last year on this show about this time, and should have probably put money on it because that prediction came true yesterday. We'll get to that.
You said that last year around this time?
I did. You can ask. Okay. I did. I made this prediction last year around this time, and we will discuss that coming up in segment 3. So we'll get to that coming up too, and of course, we'll get to our high school basketball and college basketball recaps from last night. Connor, how are you? What time did you get back last night from Holcomb?
It was it was an early finish. I got back at like 10 o'clock, and that was with a stop to the Wendy's in Garden City. So it was efficient.
So you were in time for tip-off between Nebraska and UCLA. You were in time.
However, the Kansas game ran late, so it wasn't on FS1 until like
yes,
I think like 10.
So you got to see the end of the KU game. How much time was left in the KU game if you've turned it on?
I got back with like 3 minutes to go, and I was listening to it a little bit on my way back. But I got back, and I think the first thing I saw was that one guy. What was his name? Anthony Johnson for Arizona State bury a 3 on the left wing, and that was pretty much the dagger. And I couldn't believe it. I'll be honest, I was a little happy. I have some buddies at ASU, and I know they've really struggled in basketball lately. So I was silently happy for them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you had to get back in a pretty good time last night. It was, like I said, it was kind of reverse night last night in college basketball. Arizona State takes care of Kansas 70-60. It was really not as close as it said the score was. Kansas was down by 20 at the end of the first half. Bill Self got tossed in the first quarter of the game. Like, not even that, maybe the first 6 minutes, got tossed.
Gosh.
Double technical. There was a really tough call that went against Darren Peterson. He got called for an offensive foul, and they were limiting freedom of movement was Arizona State. And that's such a tough deal for a lot of teams that rely on it, because if the officials allow the guys to play, if they allow guys to play but the officials say, well, we're going to call it. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to let guys play a little bit. That makes it harder for freedom of movement. There was a problem there, and Bill Self came off the bench, understandably so, out to midcourt, got his first technical, didn't return to the bench quick enough, got another technical. He went back to the locker room early. Great job by the Arizona State department there at the arena, because they turned on the fog machine as Bill Self went back to the locker room. Did you see that?
That's awesome. I didn't. They
turned on the fog machine.
You see the shooting percentages for Kansas in this game?
It was not pretty. 29%. Yeah. They could not buy it. I wish you could split it between first half and second half. It was bad. The first half was bad. They could not make layups. I think at one point in time, it was in the second half, maybe about 10 minutes left to go. The Jayhawks were like 5 of 22 on layups.
No way.
They could not make layups to save their lives.
Ugh.
It was bad. It was really bad. And so Flory Badunga really struggled making shots. Melvin Council Jr., who was well described as the heart and soul of the Kansas basketball, only had 7 points on 3 of 11. So he wasn't very efficient. Darren Peterson really struggling. He only had 2 points at halftime.
I heard he was 0 for 7, I think, at the half.
Yeah, I made 2 free throws. But 3 of 18 for the game was Darren Peterson. 3 of 18.
Ain't gonna cut it.
So it was a poor offensive night for Kansas. Arizona State got off to a great start and did enough to have enough lead, and then did enough in the end. And Kansas had to use a lot of energy to get back in that game. You could tell when they came out of the locker room at halftime that they were inspired by some words of wisdom from their coach. We'll just put it that way. And they came charging back. But Kansas, it was too much of a deficit to overcome. And KU loses 70-60. And Bill Self post game said the trip was a bleepy one. I'll let you fill that one in. It was a bleepy trip to Arizona. This is also what Bill Self said about his team post game after the 10-point loss at Arizona State last night.
We're not good enough. Our players are not talented enough not to be ready and be energized and on point. I don't care what anybody says. In this league, we got a nice roster, but that nice roster needs to be turned up and passionate and those things in order to have a chance to beat other teams that have good rosters as well. And we certainly didn't do that tonight.
Are you okay over there? Your eyes got really big.
For a second, I think he misspoke on that first phrase, because at first it sounded like he was saying his team wasn't talented, but then he kind of walked it back and was like, we have a really good roster. But
Really,
that first phrase.
His team was, we are not, is pretty much what's the thing is, we are not good enough or talented enough to go out there and just sleepwalk through the first whatever minutes. We can't do it.
They're so hot and cold.
They are. They're going to be such a hard team to judge in the tournament, because they could make a Sweet 16 and Elite 8 run if all the cylinders are firing. But, you know, they could be a first-round exit too, because you just don't know. They could have a poor shooting night and things aren't working right, and that could be the way it is.
I could see them losing to I mean, at this point, I don't know. Maybe they're like a 5 seed after this loss, and we'll see what happens in their last game. But probably a 4 to 6 seed is my guess. I could definitely see them losing to a 13 to 11 seed.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it happening for sure. So Kansas loses 70-60 last night. Kansas State, though, a rare win. By the way, did you know that last night, I think, I'll have to double check this, but I think that was their first quad 1 victory of the season.
That was quad 1?
I don't know for sure. All I know is that
so.
Brian Gilbert said that they did not have a quad 1 win on their season. Did Kansas State? And I don't know why you would bring that up in a home game against West Virginia, unless I'm thinking it was. I think.
Hold on, I'm going to take a look.
I think it was. It was a home win against West Virginia, who, by the way, was on the bubble and now I think is off.
Definitely.
That was a bad loss. Tough one for former Northwest Tech basketball coach Jace Hurl, now an assistant, and former Hoxie Indian Harlan Obioa back in their home states. It was not a good one. West Virginia had the lead. K-State used a huge, I think it was 21-0 run in the middle of it to pull away. West Virginia came back late and made it close. But it is, in the end, K-State that prevails. 65-63, the final score last night there inside Bramlage Coliseum. Not exactly the prettiest game for sure. Didn't have PJ Haggerty last night, did K-State. He was out with an injury that he sustained, I think, in practice. But they got great performances from Kamari McGriff with 18 points. Nate Johnson had 16, including a big 3 late when they kind of desperately needed a big-time shot. He gave them one, and Kansas State prevails. First win in a while there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was good to see. And also, I don't think that was a quad 1 win. Just double-checking, because West Virginia, you would have to be in the top 30 net for a home win to be that. But regardless, I mean, props to K-State for going out there and getting a win against a solid team in the Big 12. I mean, West Virginia is not necessarily the class of the conference, but they've shown to be better than K-State this year. So I think it's a good sign of things to come, maybe a little positive momentum going into the conference tournament. And I don't know, maybe they could rip off a couple of wins. Shout out to Nate Johnson for 5 steals tonight as well. Really stuffed the stat sheet, 16 points, 9 boards, 7 assists with those 5 steals. So I always love when I see stat lines like that.
Yeah, great to see a guy fill the stat sheet for sure. Kansas State interim head coach, Coach Driscoll, his thoughts after the game.
First of all, super proud of the way we defended. Really impressed with the way, probably for 32 minutes, we rebounded the ball. So therefore, our first shot defense was even that much more impressive. We really squeezed the 3-point line off them. I know he made one at the end, so really 5 for 22. So we really eliminated the 3-ball. We did a really good job being hot to that. And then the other thing that we really did well is we really put pressure on the rim on offense. When you make more free throws than your opponent attempts, that's always a good thing.
Yes, it is. When you fake more free throws than your opponent attempts, it's a good sign. And I'm sure West Virginia very frustrated because their NCAA tournament hopes were hanging in the balance, and they are now gone with that loss to Kansas State. So tough, unless they go on a deep run in their tournament. But now they got a lot of work to do, whereas they were kind of sitting in a decent spot. But now
they probably have to win the conference tournament.
Might have to. So K-State gets a win. Wildcats 12-18 now with that win. Gets just their second win, Jason, oh man, what's only the third win in conference play?
Yeah.
So it's been a rough year. Colorado won. It looked handily, 92-78. They were at 51-25 in the first, but were outscored 53-41 in the second. Colorado continues to show how young but talented a team they are. You see how talented they are by how they just blow teams out at times, but you see how young they are behind. They leave the door wide open for teams to come back. So many times.
And it's funny. I listened to almost the entire second half of this game on the way home, and I had a great time because Mark Johnson, obviously the voice of God, as they say, right?
Right. Voice God.
Yeah. He described it perfectly. He was saying that Utah just couldn't miss. At one point, I think he said they were 15 of 19 from the floor in the second half, which is crazy. And Colorado was able to keep pace enough to stay up in the game, but the defense was really nowhere to be found. But shout out to Isaiah Johnson. His godfather, D. Wade, was sitting front row, is what it sounded like. So he got to see a win. So some cool stuff all around in that CU game. And it sounds like they're kind of locked into their spot in the Big 12 tournament 11 seeds. So I think that's a bye, or that might be the last spot without a bye. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, 22 points from Ben Dak, which was a career high last night for him on 6 of 9 shooting. Almost had 3 guys in double with 20-plus points last night for Colorado. Johnson had 22, and Barrington Hargress had 19. 4 guys in double figures. Pretty good performance from Colorado. I think if Tad Boyle can keep that team together this offseason and next year, they're going to be good. That's going to be a dangerous basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of those guys are coming back. So we'll see. And in the late night capper, Nebraska falls to UCLA on the road, 72-52. Nebraska was horrific shooting the basketball, could not make free throws, could not make layups, could not make three-pointers. I mean, it was a very rough watch late last night. They were down 37-24. They got it to 10 in the second half, but UCLA had a layup and then a foul under the basket against Nebraska. And that resulted in an inbounds play for a 5-point swing, and that was it from that point forward.
And I think that also punched UCLA's ticket to the tournament. So I think they
Probably.
can thank Nebraska for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll tell you, it's Nebraska just is a team where if they are playing if they play up to how they can make shots and they play their defense and all that stuff, they are a really good team. But if they face a team that has any sort of really good, consistent athleticism 1 through 5, they're in trouble. And that is why to me, Nebraska is a scary team to pick in the tournament. I see a lot of experts. They do this thing like, here's a list of teams. Tell them how far they're going to go in the tournament. I saw Wally Serbiak yesterday on social media said, pick Nebraska, the Elite Eight. I'm like, I am a big Nebraska fan. There is no way they're getting the Elite Eight. There is not enough athleticism on this team to get to the Elite Eight. It's
They
just
have the right path. They could.
Maybe. But, man, I'm telling you, there are going to be some matchups where you play some real freak teams that have some really good athletes and rebounders and shooters. And if they run into that team, it's curtains. Nebraska does not. There is just not a lot of room for error because they don't have a lot of mistake erasers. They just – and last night, that game tipped off at 10 o'clock Central Time, as we all know. Actually, it was 10:15. Half the team was asleep. You could just tell. There were passes and turnovers. It was bad. You saw it last night. In Kansas going to Arizona State and Nebraska going to UCLA, that these late games for these teams are very challenging. And if you're able to get it done, more power to you. But they're very challenging to deal with the body clocks that some teams have to deal with. You definitely can see that. And it's not even teams that are from the East Coast going to the West Coast, like Stanford or, whoever. Clemson have to go play Cal or whatever like that. That's got to be even more impossible.
I can't imagine. Yeah, the conferences are kind of a mess right now. I never liked the lack of regionality we're looking at right now. Cal and Stanford should not be in the ACC. Arizona and Arizona State should not be in the Big 12.
To me, Arizona State makes the most sense of all of them.
Yeah, it does.
Over the Big 10 teams over the UCLA, Oregon's in the Big 10.
Because that's an extreme.
Yes, it is an extreme. I mean, Rutgers plays at UCLA.
It's ridiculous. That's about as far as you're going to get.
Yeah, so dumb. Anyway, so overall, besides Kansas State and Colorado, tough night in college hoops last night for college basketball. Tough one there for sure. Let's see here. Real quickly, FB Bank text line. Michael says when the ball was tipped, Kansas was lost. It's pretty much what he was saying. It's a GIF. I heard you. Let's see what else there. Officer Jared talking about Miami of Ohio, 30-0.
Yes.
Just the fourth team in Division I men's basketball history to start the season 30-0. Just the fourth team ever.
They're going dancing.
Yeah, they are. They're playing really good. I'll be intrigued to see what they do in the dance and what kind of draw they get.
I'm excited.
Last night in high school hoops, not to be outdone there. Great night for a couple teams, a tough one for another. But Hoxie girls and Oakley girls both winning last night. Hoxie girls, another convincing win over Stanton County, 63-36. Oakley beat Trigo at home, 49-34. So guess what? Oakley and Hoxie meet for a sub-state championship game and a chance to go to the state tournament on the line Friday in Smith Center. Tough deal there that you've got two teams that are, maybe 30 minutes apart drive, and they're going to drive an hour plus away to go play a championship game.
Yeah, we've talked about it plenty. It ain't fair.
But Hoxie and Oakley, and the tough part about that is Oakley's had a great year this year. Hoxie is on an amazing level. It's going to take a great effort from Oakley to pull off a win over Hoxie, I think. And that's tough because both those teams, I think, could deserve to go play in the state tournament and could be teams that are, Final Four type good, but they're in the same sub-state, unfortunately. That's just what happens. So Hoxie and Oakley meet Friday in Smith Center, trip to go to state. Colby boys, their season came to an end down at Holcomb last night. They lost to the top seed, Holcomb, or one of the top seeds, 73-56. Ending their season at 12-12. But as you were there, Connor, this game a little bit closer, maybe the final score indicated.
Absolutely was. And it was an interesting game throughout because Colby kind of started the game how Holcomb had started last time these teams played. Colby started on a 5-0 run, but then Holcomb turned on the gas and they went on a 15-0 run right after that. And then Holcomb, it kind of felt like they had a stranglehold for that entire first half. They finished it up 19, and it's like, oh no, here we go again. It's over before it starts. But then in the second half, you see the juices start flowing. Colby outscored Holcomb, I think it was 17-5 in the third quarter, and they switched to a zone, and that totally locked up Holcomb. They couldn't score on it, and Colby started out rebounding them. They were really physical on the glass and on defense, and they got to within 5 actually at the start of the fourth quarter. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, they can pull this off. They're right there. But then with no shot clock, Holcomb just starts holding on to it. And of course you have to come out of your zone and then try and force them to move. And I'm not going to say that's the only reason they won, but I think that definitely played a part because they had to come out of the zone. They couldn't just sit in it and let them just dribble it out by the mid-court line. But that's what happened. And then some guys got into foul trouble early in the fourth quarter. Hoppy fouled out. I think Coben Curry fouled out as well. And then multiple other guys had 4 fouls at the very end. And that was partially due to playing that foul game a little bit earlier than you'd probably like due to the no shot clock. So, but that they need to put a shot clock in because that totally killed the momentum of that game. And I think Colby would have had a much better chance of coming back into it if Holcomb had to run normal offense. And yeah, I don't know. It just, I hate it.
2 questions for someone who wasn't there. Had they played that zone, Colby, had they played that zone defense before this season?
A couple of times, yeah.
Not very much?
Not super often.
It's so great to have a curveball that you've rarely used to throw in now.
It's worked every time they've used it.
It's great to throw in a curveball because teams are like, well, shoot, we didn't practice for this. They haven't ran this, because you're as a coach for a team, you're not going to really see everything throughout the season. It's hard to.
Yeah.
So to kind of just all of a sudden you're like, well, shoot, we didn't practice this. And you can throw high school kids and even college kids for a loop.
Oh, yeah.
Change the defense up like that. So that's a great call there by Coach Stevens to change that up. Got him back in the game, which is huge. But yeah, the shot clock next year in 3A, it'll be installed. But here's the thing. Like everyone gets mad about how, we lost this game because of the shot clock. Everybody knew there wasn't going to be a shot clock in the postseason.
Exactly.
It's in the rules. There will not be a shot clock. If you would like to use a shot clock in the regular season, you are allowed to do so. But it will not be one in the postseason. Well, it didn't really prep you for the postseason. And you have to learn how to get leads and squat on the ball. You have to learn how to do that because If you're down, it's really hard to get back in, particularly in the fourth quarter, because teams are just going to sit on the ball.
And they came so close too, man. It's like you just kind of knew with no shot clock they were going to sit on it, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Heartbreaking for sure. Tough one last night, but pretty solid. Let's see here. Listener Brian chiming in on the EpiBank text line with a thought on the shot clock. He says it is ruining basketball. If you want high school and college ball to have no defense like the NBA, then hope for more shot clocks.
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, they're going to play defense. I mean, you got to play. The biggest thing is that you have to be able to, you're forcing the opposite team to take a shot within 35 seconds. I mean, they have to get a shot up. Now, they could go offensive rebound and burn more clock, obviously, but you just can't go stand out by midcourt with the ball and sit on it, And here's the thing. I don't get mad at the other team for doing it. They're abiding by the rules.
Like the rules allow them to.
Holcomb, it allows them to stand out at midcourt if you're not going to go guard them.
Can't blame them. I mean, they're trying to win the game.
So say what you want. They're trying to win the game too. Yeah. Tough. Colby season ends. Colby season ends at 12-12 overall. I think a pretty respectable first season for Coach Stevens in his first year. Pretty good season.
I'd say so.
12-12. We got to get to a break. Nick Athens going to join us to talk some NFL. We will when we come back later on in the show, we will look ahead to tonight's games. Colby girls at Holcomb, Goodland girls at Southwestern Heights, but we're up against the clock. Let's get to a break, and we come back. Nick Athens will join us, talk some news surrounding the Chiefs roster and other NFL news and headlines. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
It's time to step into premium capability at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland with strong GMC offers happening now. Get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with up to $7,000 in rebates, now $51,150. And if you're ready for a full-size luxury, the 2026 GMC Yukon features 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Full design, professional-grade performance. GMC delivers power and refinement wherever the road takes you. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or online at hurlchev.com.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They even have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas with your morning market update in the overnight session. May corn down 3 3/4 at 4.42 3/4. July down 3 1/4 at 4.52 1/4. September down 2 3/4 at 4.54 1/4. December down 2 1/2 at 4.68 3/4. Soybeans on the May down 2 1/4 at 11.68 1/4. July down 1 1/2 at 11.81 1/2. November down 2 3/4 at 11.28 3/4. KC wheat on the May down 7 3/4 at 5.70 1/2. July down 7 1/2 at 5.84. September down 7 3/4 at 5.98 3/4. December down 7 1/4 at 6.20. Chicago wheat on the May down 7 1/4 at 5.66 3/4. Feeding cattle yesterday finished at 357.20. Live cattle 234.12. Lean hogs 95.75. Crude oil futures down 31 cents a barrel at 74.25. Gold futures up 61.50 an ounce, 5,185.20. Silver up $1.71 at 84.90. U.S. dollar index down 12 at 98.88. Dow futures 123. 48,696. S&P futures up 23, 6,848. Need to move your cash grain and want to talk about risk management? Reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Pluto, Tyler Goshen, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hinky or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Every bag of FiberMax cotton has 220,000 seeds chock full of innovation, like advanced genetics for longer, stronger fiber, which means 220,000 reasons to hear, "You got what premiums?" and new Accent Flex technology for powerful weed control, which means 220,000 reasons to say, heck yeah, I grew that. FiberMax cotton from BASF. Innovation in every bag. Always read and follow label directions.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission.
I know that yesterday you were hoping to see a Mick Cronin meltdown of some sort, Didn't happen, but Nick still found a way to gripe in the post-game presser despite his team maybe playing their best game of the year.
Of course.
Mick goes, this game tipped off too late for these student athletes to have to get to class tomorrow.
I can't hate a coach more.
He is the ultimate curmudgeon.
Ridiculous.
He hates everything.
It has to be an act at this point.
Oh my God.
I don't
It's
know.
so funny. Right. He's like, this is not really fair to these student athletes who need to get to class tomorrow. This game tipping off at what was, 8:15, Pacific time and 10:15 Central time, 9:15. I mean, it was late. Don't get me wrong, but shoot, man, shoot. Let's go to the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Waiting patiently, as always, our good friend Nick Athen from Chiefs Blitz. Good morning, sir. How are we today?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Good.
Late night last night watching Nebraska get destroyed by UCLA, but we'll be all right. We'll push through.
Yeah, I think I turned off when it was 4-0.
Don't blame you. Honestly, I wish I could have. Turned it off. It's not good. Nick, of course, ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick, been so much news surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to making cap space. Seeing, Mahomes' contract reworked and certain guy, Mike Dana, getting let go. We're seeing Juwan Taylor get let go here in about a week, it sounds like, if they can't find a trade partner for him. I think we knew this was coming. Is there any guys that have been moved or have not been moved that has surprised you?
No, I don't think both those moves were highly expected. I think when you look at the Chiefs salary cap, I mean, obviously moving Mahomes' money was simple. That's the way the contract's designed. At the end of this year, he's going to get a massive new deal, so it's all going to be a moot point. Chris Jones has got a high contract, but I don't think they're going to move that space because I think this is Chris Jones's last year in Kansas City. So right now with the moves they made, they've got about $14.5 million in cap space. Their draft pick expectation cost is going to be somewhere between 8 and 12, 13, just kind of depends. If they do some maneuvering or they add a first round pick, which is going to be the rumor of the week. So I think there's really not a whole lot. Creed Humphreys could redo his deal. Trey Smith could redo his contract. Drew Tranquill, 50-50, he's there. Noah Gray, 50-50, he's there. So they could create another 30 million plus, maybe 40 million in cap space to do some damage in free agency, which I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think the Chiefs are going to be extremely active on the first day of the legal tampering on Monday.
So Juwan Taylor's gone. Are you excited to see less holding penalties and false start penalties this year?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I like Juwan Taylor personally. He's a good guy. I think that he got caught in this change of the way the offensive line is being viewed. He could never get it together. He could just never stay focused enough to be able to just do what the team needed to do. So I'm glad he's gone. Moore's going to probably start a right tackle. They've got Asa Pole, who I think is going to be a beast. So they've got some depth at offensive line now. The interior is solid. Left tackle is solid as long as, Simmons is there every week to play football. I think we're in pretty good shape. But I like this offensive line. I like the move. Don't be surprised if the Chiefs draft a tackle in the first round. If the kid from Utah falls, and there's a lot of talk right now that Kansas City could take a tackle and have two premier bookend tackles for Patrick Mahomes, plus the interior of that offensive line for the next 5 years. Sign me up. I don't think that's a bad way to go.
Nick Athen, our guest from Chiefs Blitz on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Nick, how much more room do they need to create for cap space, do you think? Or are they in a good spot right now? What do they need to do to get themselves in position to get, first and foremost, legal, and second of all, maybe have enough to go out and be a little aggressive?
Yeah, they're technically legal at the moment. So
Okay.
they've got about $14 million in cap space. If they move Creed Humphrey's money, that's another 10. Trey Smith could be another 12. So that would give them plenty of money to go out and sign a pass rusher and a running back. Of course, the big caveat is, what are they going to do with Trent McDuffie? I think personally he's gone. I think he's going to be traded to the Los Angeles Rams. I think it's going to be this week that it's announced. I don't think the Chiefs are going to wait around, so that way they can maneuver their cap space and know what to expect. They can't legally trade him till the new league year starts, which is officially Wednesday. So if that happens, then the Chiefs might have 2 first-round picks, and that changes everything on what they can do. But you got to remember, they're gonna re-sign Travis Kelce to a very team-friendly deal, probably somewhere in the $5 to $7 million range with some incentives to bring it to 10. I think Tyreek Hill is going to come back at some point, probably in late spring, early summer on a 1-year deal. So they're going to have some room there. I think they're going to be players for a couple of the running backs. They want Breece Hall, but the Jets just keep torturing this poor kid who's been dying to get out of New York since he got drafted. So Kenneth Walker, Travis, I can never pronounce
Etienne.
Etienne, there you go. He's very high on the Chiefs list. Phillips, the pass rusher who ended the season with the Eagles, is high on their list. And don't be surprised if they go after another stud wide receiver. The fact the Colts didn't tag Pierce, I don't understand that. That made absolutely no sense to me. If the Chiefs are going to go all in on a wide receiver, that's the guy to go into. So I think the Chiefs are going to be very active, but a lot of it's going to be contingent on if they trade McDuffie, that gives them another $13 million in cap space. Can they get the Rams' second first-round pick and plus maybe a third? And if that's the case, I make that deal all day long, because Brett Veach has never paid cornerbacks, and I can't see him paying him $110 million. And honestly speaking, I like Watson better. I think keeping Watson is key. Jalen Watson, he came back last year, had a good season after the injury. I think he's their best cornerback. So those are the moves that I would make if I was Brett Veach.
Nick, you mentioned a name that I find fascinating. You mentioned it a little bit ago, but the Chiefs are in search of a running back, and the Seahawks are not going to tag Kenneth Walker, so he's a free agent. And I've even told Connor this. I said, why don't Kansas City go after Kenneth Walker? Yeah. I mean, I think he'd be a great fit there for the Chiefs.
I think he would be. I know it's hard to say there's a knock on this kid, but he's, the Seahawks have 3 running backs, and they're all 3 good. And I think when you look at how they use them, that's how he would be used in Kansas City. He's not a great pass catcher, and I think that's one thing that Andy really wants to evolve with the offense this year. And I think when you got Brashard Smith, who we saw a little bit last year, maybe he becomes the Jerick McKinnon type, and then Walker doesn't have to have that pressure. But to me, Walker is the best patient cutback running back I've seen since Bell. I mean, he just has that patience at the line, and that's what they need. Isaiah Pacheco doesn't have that gift or quality. So I think if Walker, Etienne are probably going to be the 1-2 look-see that the Chiefs are going to go after. I know there's a lot of talk about Jeremiah Love, and I would love to have him. I think he's the best player in this draft. I think he's going to have the most impact of any of the rookies drafted this year, wherever he goes, as long as he goes to the right team with a decent offensive line. But I just don't think he's going to get there. I don't think he's going to be there at 9. I think the Giants, with Harbaugh, they really like him. Could they take him at 3? I think the Saints certainly, even though I think that would be a terrible fit for him because of the quarterback situation, the offensive line, he wants to be a Chief pretty badly. The Chiefs would love to, but they can't wait. So if Etienne is available or Walker is available and they have a chance to sign him, that's what you do. And you just can't take the risk of hoping like a Josh Simmons is going to fall to 32. It's just not going to happen. So to me, unless they are 100% convinced or 99% convinced that he's going to be there at 9, they're going to have to address the free agency running back situation right away.
You think there's any chance they could wait for a running back to fall into the second round and maybe plug and play whoever that is?
Yeah, there's some good guys. Price, the backup at Notre Dame, is really good. I would put him in my starting lineup on day one. I think he's that talented. The kid from Arkansas, whose name is escaping me at the moment, is kind of like a Derrick Henry type that they fell in love with at the combine. I think he had the second fastest speed. I apologize, I can't remember
Mike
his
Washington.
name. Yeah, there you go. He's terrific. Now he's either going to be a second round, late second round, or early third round. But if they don't sign ETN and they don't sign Walker, then they're going to roll the dice in the draft. So I think if Love's there at 1 and they haven't signed a free agent, he's the pick. If in the second round or they get an extra pick in a trade or they maneuver, I think the kid from Arkansas makes the most sense. Eric Bieniemy loves him. People I talked to said they were just enamored by this kid. Again, it's a risk. Do we wait for the guy that we really, really want, that we don't have to pay a fortune to? Because the problem with Love is not only going to pay him as a top 10 pick, but in 4 years or 5 years, you're going to have to pay him a mega deal as well. So maybe the Chiefs find their running back in the second round. We'll see.
Nick Athan-Katibia, our guest here on the Morning Blitz. He joins us from, of course, ChiefsBlitz.com. Outside of Kansas City, are there any players that have been told that they're going to have to find new homes or anything like that, or any storylines that kind of like make you go, huh?
I think the biggest storyline is Malik Willis is the top rated prospect in the
$30 million
in NFL free agency, and I guess he's going to the Cardinals is the rumor, $35 million, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest. You might as well keep the kid you don't like. I don't understand how these franchises are evaluating quarters. I think they look at the recent success of last year with the retreads and, the greatest story in NFL history, winning a Super Bowl as the starting quarterback for Seattle. And you look at and these teams just they don't want to do anything original. They just want to, okay, we'll take this guy. We'll take this guy. Oh, he played great for 3 quarters in the 10 games that he started, and we're going to pay him $35 million. So to me, that is the craziest thing. I think the second thing, like I said, the Colts not tagging Pierce. I just, I don't know what's going on up here with some of these GMs. This is going to be the craziest NFL draft I think we have ever seen. I think you're going to see so many teams fall in love with players. They're going to move up. It's going to be crazy. But the free agency period that starts officially noon on 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time, legal tampering, you're going to probably see about 20 deals, I think, in the first 24 hours that get announced technically and then made official on Wednesday. But I think the evaluation of quarterbacks, pass rushers in free agency is gonna shoot the market dollar up so much that I think some of these teams are going to struggle because they're going to overpay. I mean, the Broncos have cap space, the Raiders have cap space, the Chargers have cap space. I think the biggest thing that upsets me more about free agency is good players don't care. They'll go to bad teams for the money. And what I'm hearing a lot, what I heard a lot in the combine is every AFC team and a lot of the agents are saying Chiefs are going to be back. The Chiefs are the team to beat in the AFC still. There's no question in them. I mean, it was consensus. I mean, I talked to a whole bunch of people who were at the combine, and they told me all the same thing. These teams fear the Chiefs. There's a lot of interest from potential free agents to go win a Super Bowl for Kansas City. They may be the exception. So I think when you evaluate what's going to happen in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and into Thursday, you have to sit there and go, if you're a Chiefs fan, how aggressive are they going to be? If you're a Broncos fan, can they overcome some of the mistakes they made down the stretch? Are really that easy to come to Denver? What's the message? And so, the two teams in our area, on the broadcast show here, they've got a lot in common, but there's a lot of difference because everybody I've seen has the Broncos finishing third in the division next year. behind Kansas City and Los Angeles, who's automatically early. Los Angeles is going to win the AFC West. So, to answer your question in a really winded way this morning, I think there's going to be a lot of surprises in free agency. I think there's going to be some ridiculously insane money that is going to go to really great players who are going to go on bad teams. And 2 years from now, they're going to ask for trades. That's what I think.
Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick, as always, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll catch up soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for letting me rant this morning. Take care.
You bet, buddy. Once again, great stuff there from Nick. Always welcome to come on and rant on the Morning Blitz. We'll take our final break. Come back. We'll talk high school hoops tonight and also a prediction that Ross got correct a year ago. Next in the Morning Blitz.
When you're looking for great food and friendly hometown service, make it Traditions Restaurant in Goodland. Open Wednesday through Sunday, Tradition serves up classic comfort food favorites, daily specials, and hearty meals made with care. From lunch to dinner, you'll enjoy fresh ingredients, generous portions, and a welcoming atmosphere every time you stop in. It's the perfect spot for family meals, lunch breaks, or catching up with friends. Join the Tradition at Traditions Restaurant, proudly serving Goodland Wednesday through Sunday, where good food and great traditions come together.
We need reliability with a personal touch. Call Miller Construction Services, LLC. With over 40 years of hands-on experience, this family-owned and operated company is your trusted construction leader across Northwest Kansas, Northeast Colorado, and Southwest Nebraska. Licensed, bonded, and proud to be a Chief Buildings Independent Authorized Builder, Miller Construction builds durable stores, facilities, warehouses, municipal projects, and more. Be sure and visit millercs.com. That's millercs.com, and let's build your future together with Miller's Construction Service, LLC.
Ripped worn out, and it needs replaced. Who you gonna call?
Roof Masters!
Roof Masters Roofing at Colby has been your premier roofing contractor for over 40 years, offering free estimates on all types of roofs, as well as seamless rain gutters and vinyl siding. So give us a call today. What's that number, Jake?
462-6642. I think you better call
Roof Masters!
From Rollins Regional Medical Center. Did you know someone in the U.S. has a heart attack about every 40 seconds? Heart disease remains one of the most common health conditions nationwide. Cardiology focuses on monitoring conditions related to the heart and cardiovascular system. These evaluations may include monitoring blood pressure, heart rhythm, and other indicators that support early identification of heart-related conditions, informed care planning, and ongoing awareness of cardiovascular health over time. This message is provided by Rollins Regional Medical Center. Learn more at rchc.us.
Sports talk that's fast, fresh, and always on point.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Couple of thoughts from the text line. First, Michael talking about what Nick said about the Broncos pick to finish third. He goes, we were picked to finish third last season too. And look where we ended up. It's pretty much what Michael's saying. True. We'll see. It's a long ways away from the NFL season, it feels like. Steve from Binkelman says, after the Morning Blitz, he'll be switching over to Dundee County Stratton girls take on Loomis in PBA. So the girls' state basketball tournament gets going today in Nebraska. Best luck. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. They have a great shot of winning state, I think. Really good team there in DCS. Wrapping up the show here, quickly. High school hoops tonight. Colby going to Holcomb again. So deja vu for Connor Schuh as you go to Holcomb. What are your thoughts on tonight's matchup?
I like how Colby played Holcomb, especially the first time around. I think it was a much closer score, and they had it in the balance a couple of times last time they played at Holcomb. So I think this one is how do I put this? I don't know. It's more likely to be a little closer than I think the boys' game. I think the girls' teams are a little closer matched. So we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes the Colby girls have a little bit of struggle scoring the ball consistently and getting out of holes. So I think it's key for them to go and get a lead early and try to hold on to it, because I think defense is really, really their strength. So we'll see how it goes.
Be big to not allow Holcomb to get going, particularly from the outside.
Absolutely.
They're a very good perimeter shooting team, and you do not want to allow them to kind of get cooking early. So you want to kind of get that shred of doubt in their mind early for shooting, and then you kind of build from that. But we'll see. Deja vu for Connor Schuh tonight, 100 point through the ride. Same time, same place. It's just the
Yes,
the
indeed.
teams are different. Colors are the same, but the teams are different. Tonight here on Rocket 102.5 KLOE, Goodland with their second trip, at least as an athletic program, second trip in a week down to Kismet Southwestern Heights tonight to take on the Mustangs. This is a 4-5 matchup. Both teams come in with identical records at 18-6. Goodland has had games this year where you step back and like, God, this could be a team that could go to the state Final Four. They've looked that good. They've played that good. And there have been games like, I don't even know if they can win the next game. There have been games like, gosh, like, I don't know what happened. One of those was kind of on Friday against Norton. Didn't play great. Got off to a big lead, I think, and that was probably the problem. Led 21-5 at half. And then, unfortunately, kind of took the foot off the gas, and Norton kind of made it a little bit closer in the end. But Cowgirls have to play a complete 32 minutes tonight. Southwestern Heights is a good team. Layla Kistner is their top player. She's a young ladies committed to go to Seward County Community College. She's a good basketball player, really good all-around athlete. But they have 4 sophomores to Southwestern Heights that are good, really good, led by Caitlin Reese, who can really spot up in the corner and make threes. And Southwestern Heights looks like they love to, after a make shot, get up and press the living daylights out of the ball. That could be a problem for Goodland. They haven't handled the press great. We'll see how they are ready for it tonight. If Goodland can't break the press, that could lead to easy layups, and that's a good thing for Goodland because they're more of a layup-making team than they are a three-point shooting team. I think tonight's game is going to be really good and really interesting and very competitive at what's the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, what team's able to make a few shots down the big clutch shots down the stretch will be very, very big. Both teams are very good defensively, allowing less than 33 points per game, each of them. Southwest Heights a little bit more offensively inclined than Goodland, but, we'll see how that pans out. Another fascinating story, Goodland trying to make it to a sub-state title game for I think it's the 7th time in the last 8 years or 6th time in the last 7 years, while Southwestern Heights hasn't played in a sub-state championship game in 15 years. So a win tonight would be for the first time they go to play for a sub-state title in 15 years. So a lot riding on tonight's game. Should be entertaining. Goodland at Southwestern Heights tonight on Rocket 102.5 K. We'll have pregame starting at around 4:40 Mountain Time, getting you set for Goodland at Southwestern Heights will be there, and also the Goodland Voice will be there as well with video coverage. Also can't forget tonight there is college basketball happening. Colby Community College at Butler and Forsyth Tech Northwest hosting Hutch. The regular season comes to an end tonight for JUCO hoops. Postseason play begins later on. So the regular season done after tonight. Also today, but as one door closes, another door opens. It's the Jayhawk Conference opener for softball today. Colby Community College at Garden City, Forsyth Tech Northwest at home hosting Barton in the games here tonight. So there you go. What's happening in local sports today. Let's get to the walk-off, and we'll get to the final thoughts.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on in New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So about a year ago, I made the prediction on the airwaves that I thought that Goodland native and Fort Hays State women's basketball star Telex Weeder would be MIAA Player of the Year. Guess what? That's what happened yesterday. Named MIAA Player of the Year after averaging 27.3 points per game, leading all Division II and scoring and second in all NCAA basketball. 20 or more points in 23 games this year and 11 games with at least 30 points for the Fort Hays State Tigers. I'm not surprised by this at all. I figured it would happen. I wish I could have put some money on it. Could have made a nice little chunk of change on that, Connor Schuh.
I guess so.
Kyle chimed in earlier in the program. He wanted to know his thoughts on that. And does she go to KU next year and get some NIL money? I don't know if she's going to go to KU. I don't know if she's going to leave. I have no idea. I have no insider information. But I would be shocked if there are not other Division I programs, or I should say just Division I programs sniffing around. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
If she's averaging 28 a game at the D2 level and shooting as efficiently as she is, I mean, she's got to have at least some looks.
I would say keep an eye on Oklahoma State, maybe sniffing around. The big thing is if Telexa wants to go. She's got one more year left. I would love to see her try and see what she could do at the highest level. I know she wanted to do that out of high school, but maybe she really likes where she's at and she's having a lot of success.
How about Ohio State? We could use a scorer next year.
We'll see. But this is what happens. You play good at D2, you get a chance to go. I mean, the leading scorer in Division II men at Western Colorado out there in Gunnison, averaging like 27 points per game. He's in the portal now. He's
what?
To go somewhere D1.
That reminds me of something really interesting I was going to mention earlier for the KU ASU game. That kid Anthony Johnson I mentioned earlier played NAIA ball last year.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh. Hey, if you can do it, they'll find you. That's the truth. For Connor Schuh, I'm Ross Volkmer. We'll see you back here again tomorrow on the Morning Blitz.